Germany is increasingly international, and many research programs, especially at the master's, PhD, and postdoc level, are offered in English. I'm Sukant Khurana. Today I'll be talking to you about German requirement for studying in Germany. I run IMCure, and we help people study abroad. We help them in guiding them towards better application, better SOP. We help them in guiding them towards research papers, organizing conferences, organizing podcasts, providing teaching opportunities, providing network opportunities with international scientists. And we have, at the moment, at least 40 international scientists working with us, and the number is constantly expanding. We do not just write something for you, we involve you in a research project and train you. If you're interested in seeking our help, reach out to my team. Let's now dive into the topic whether you require German to study in Germany. German is a huge advantage for global applicants. However, English might get you through your research, and learning German can enhance your daily life, networking, and integration into the academic community. Some universities also require basic German proficiency, particularly for administrative tasks and specific programs. Let's break it down. Places where English suffices. You can manage with English and English alone in several contexts in Germany, particularly in academic and urban settings. Number one is international cities. Big hubs like Berlin, Munich, Hamburg, and Frankfurt have diverse English speaking populations. Universities in these cities, such as Humboldt University, Berlin, or TU Munich, often have English taught programs and international offices that communicate in English. Restaurants, public transport, and even some bureaucratic services offer English options here. Research institutions, prestigious organizations like Max Planck Institutes, Fraunhofer Society, and Helmholtz centers conduct much of their cutting edge research in English. Their seminars, conferences, and collaborations often cater to global teams. Then, third, are structured PhD programs. Many structured doctoral programs, for example, International Max Planck Research Schools, are designed for international students and operate entirely in English. Number four, tech and startup hubs. Cities like Berlin and Stuttgart, with thriving tech scenes, attract professionals who operate in English, making it easier to network without German. That's it. Smaller towns, example Jena and Tübingen, or less international departments might lean heavily on German, especially for casual interactions or local bureaucracy. English-only survival is possible, but trickier outside major urban centers. Now let's look at language requirements for academic tasks. Number one, thesis. Most masters and PhD programs allow thesis in English, especially in STEM fields or international programs. However, some humanities and social science departments may expect German depending on the supervisor or the topic. Check program guidelines, but in fields which 90% of international students are interested in, English is completely sufficient for thesis work. Number two, research papers. Just as with your thesis, for research work, English is sufficient. Number three, communication at universities. In almost all good universities, lectures and seminars are English taught. And outside the classroom, administrative tasks is where some German creeps in. Some universities, like University of Freiburg, may require A2 or B1 German proficiency, basic to intermediate, for admissions to certain programs, even if research is in English. Majority of programs do not have such requirements for masters by research or PhD. For PhD under individual supervision, language requirements depend on professor. Most are flexible if you're productive in English. Now let's get to balancing language and professional development. Much of your emphasis should be on science and technology and other professional skills, not on language, but some emphasis on learning language is not a bad idea. Let's look at short-term priority. Your short-term priority should be just on your lab techniques, coding, theoretical frameworks. German academia really values output, right? Publications, conferences, presentations, networking in your discipline. A stellar research profile trumps language fluency every time because it's an English friendly environment. That said, language can be a booster. A1, B1 level German proficiency is a very small investment. It's not about fluency, it's simply about functionality. Knowing enough to navigate daily life, renting an apartment, shopping, if you want to travel within Germany, tourism, build rapport with colleagues who are German, it pays off. B1 lets you join casual lab discussions or attend local events, enhancing your network. The DAD and many universities offer free or subsidized German courses, and you should take advantage of those once you get there. If you don't plan to stay in Germany, learning just basic German is sufficient. But if you plan to stay in Germany, post-degree industry jobs, permanent academic roles, German then becomes critical. Companies like Siemens, BASF often expect B2 to C1 level proficiency, and academia might even demand it for teaching or tenure track positions. So practical tips are, if you're going to major city and Germany is just a stop, not a permanent destination, you can avoid German or you can have very basic course. If you're taking basic course, it is obviously going to help, and it doesn't take a whole lot. You can just learn basic German with few hours every week. Practical tips are to begin with basic German, Duolingo, Goethe Institute courses before arriving. Even A1 eases the transition. Leverage English programs. Apply to English taught programs to minimize language stress initially. TU Berlin's Global Production Engineering is an example, Bond's PhD in mathematics. In fact, 80-90% of positions that are sought by international students are taught in English, and German is not an issue. Assess requirements. That said, assess your requirement. Check for target university's website. Göttingen might ask for German in some cases, while LMU Munich doesn't. Balance your effort. 1 to 2 hours weekly effort in German before you get there and once you're there. It's a tiny effort, but in 3-4 years you will have acquired one more language. You will have acquired better connections. And something I've been thankful for is my network from PhD days, which persists even until now. In fact, the startups I'm creating has so many American friends. It's because I developed a network. So if you're in Germany, developing network with local German friends would be very valuable. I hope this was useful. If you're interested in studying in Germany for master's, PhD or postdoc and need professional help, reach out to my team at IronCure. The contact will be given to you if it is posted as a podcast or in the WhatsApp group. Thank you.